Lisa Marie of Global One Health. This is the fifth and final video in my Turkish Get-up series. As I've referenced, the Turkish Get-up is quite a complex exercise, so I thought it would be a lot of information to address all of the technical aspects of the Get-up in one video. And as you can see, each of the videos, because there is extensive amount of information that I address, a lot of important cues on form and safety, I thought it best to break up this video or this exercise into a few videos to make it more manageable in terms of information and content. So the first two videos cover how to get from the ground to the standing vertical position, and the third and fourth video basically are what we call the reverse Turkish Get-up and how to get from the standing position back down to the ground in supine position. But I wanted to have just one video in the series where I show you the actual flow, where I'm just doing the Turkish Get-up from beginning to end, so you can see what all of the transitions look like. And then you can refer back, depending on which video you happen to find first. If you're scrolling through how to do a Turkish Get-up on YouTube, you may not necessarily stumble on the first video in my series first. So if whatever one you're tuning into, I want you to know that there is a series, and that I thought a nice way, again, as I said, to close off the series would be to show you what the Turkish Get-up looks like in its actual fluid transitional pattern. So I'm not going to give any technical cues here. I'm just going to simply show you what that looks like. And if you have any questions or are looking to learn how to do the Get-up or to learn more about the technical cues that you can think about when you're learning it, then you can please check out any of those first four videos where I really break it down into full detail. So I'll just show you here. And you're going to notice one thing about the timing. They talk about this in Strong First in the certification. It's not meant to just get from the ground up and down as fast as you can. You don't just want to bleed all the movements together. They actually recommend and encourage stopping, as John Engel refers to it, as the base camps. So each of the positions that you'll see me pause in, that's what I mean by base camp, or what he was referencing. So that those are each, when you're learning the Turkish Get-up and when you're, of course, getting certified in it, they want to see that you are registering cleanly each of those transitional moments in between the transitions, or those base camp positions, that you actually hit each one of them cleanly and safely. And they are looking for that. So if you're learning the Get-up from the beginning and you've never done it, or you've done the Get-up a lot of times and you're comfortable with the sequential pattern and you know what movements come next, and now you're loading it and you're looking to maybe go for heavier load or a PR in your Turkish Get-up, you still want to hit those base camps and register each of those phases. So I'm just going to pause in each one of them. I remember them referencing a number of times, it could take 30 seconds just to get one side of the Get-up done. So I'm going to do here the Turkish Get-up in the full format, and I'm going to do it with the kettlebell so I can actually talk about the transitions of how to use the kettlebell itself. So that is one thing I'll close out with, just so you can see how to pick up and put down the kettlebell. So when you are starting from the ground position, right, technically, as I started in the naked Get-up just on my back, but when you're actually doing it with the kettlebell, you want to, you can even practice this on the back first, of course. The transition, you start with side lying. So that's an important little footnote here. So I'm in my side lying position. I have my kettlebell is in front of me, and the down arm is going to be the side that's going to grab the kettlebell. So I'm going to roll onto my back, and I'm going to talk about this is a great place to discuss that, right? Watch that transition, right? So I'm already set up where my hand is gripped around the bell and the other hand is wrapped around the fist that's on the kettlebell handle. My knees are bent. I'm almost in a chair type position. Now I roll onto my back. Now you have two options. You can press double arm, which is recommended if you're learning how to do the transition, or if you're first just putting the kettlebell in your hand, then you want to really practice that transition, right? So have the two hands on the kettlebell handle. Now, if you're going for your chest out and your cert, they do not want you to double arm press the bell. Just a little footnote, if you happen to be contemplating going for your kettlebell start. You want to press it. They want you to press that kettlebell single arm. The other time when you would press double arm is if you're familiar with the get up, but you want to go for, you know, you're pushing your boundaries to go for a heavier bell that you've never done before in the get up, or you're going for a PR. You know, when it's a new weight that you're not sure, please, safety first, they also will encourage you to press double arm. But for testing out purposes, and once you're comfortable with that weight, you want to learn how to single arm press the bell. So I'll show you from different angle what both of those look like, and then I'll just show you the complete transition here. But since the other videos were done with naked get up, I wanted to just talk about with a bell how to do that transition. So I've got my down arm holding the kettlebell handle, the other hand is wrapped around my fist, I roll onto my back, and again I can either opt to double arm press it if I'm not comfortable with the weight, or if I am, once I'm here, right, so now I'm in that position where I'm really nicely supported of my shoulder and the ground, I would simply open that other hand onto the ground as I transition my legs, and there's my single arm press. So that is my transition from the ground to the starting position of the bell. Now I think for the purpose of the video, I'm going to show you just the angle that I initially had before. So I'm here, right, I roll onto my back, I get comfortable in that position, and I personally transition my legs and my arm out at the same time as I press the bell up. That is not necessarily broken down so much. If you want to come onto your back and set up your legs and then your arm and then press, you can certainly have the option of doing that as well. But I think I'm going to choose an angle where you can see a little bit more of the, this side. Right, so now I'm in that starting position of my get up, and I'm going to just go through the whole Turkish get up from beginning to end, and I will just address the focus. All the other technical aspects, you can check out those earlier videos. Notice I'm going to stop at each base camp. I'm looking up at my kettlebell. Now I look straight forward for that kneeling lunge. Still looking forward for the kneeling lunge coming down. Go back down to the hand. I'm now looking up at my bell. So now just to talk about the other 2 points are how to bring the bell down and how to transition from one side to the other. And then that will be the final component of the get up. So if I've just finished, because that was the side I was doing, so say I just came down to my elbow, to my hand, and I just finished my get up from here, I would pull the bell down. Remember, you don't want the kettlebell to drift and feel like it's falling on you. You want to keep control until the last second. So if it's a manageable weight and you can control it with one arm, you simply pull the kettlebell down, coming down just like you would in a press, and then grab your hand and roll down. I should probably be a little bit more to this side, sorry. So I'm here. Again, I want to control. Notice I'm packed on this side, very important. I've just finished the get up. I'm packed in my loaded side especially. I pull down like I'm pulling the kettlebell into me, right? I get it here, and then I could put my hand back on the handle and I roll, right? Because then the kettlebell is close to the ground, and I simply roll to where I began in that side lying position. Now, when transitioning, you have 2 options as to how you go from, if you want to go from one side to the other side for the load. Now, the way that I learned and is doable, again, it depends on how comfortable you are with the weight that you're using. I need to be more this way for you to see, right? So if I just finished and I now want to do a get up on the other side, the way that I learned is that you just do an arcing position, you roll into your back, and now you're on the opposite side. So I'll show you that again. Don't forget to change your hand position before you roll onto your back for the second side. So let's start from that side again so you can see, right? So I've just finished the get up, come down to the ground, right? I come down. Now, if it's a heavy weight, of course, once you've come onto the back, you can, of course, grab the handle with the other hand or the fist with the other hand and pull the kettlebell into you with double arm if you're fatigued, you feel you can't control or stabilize it, or if you are using a heavier weight and you just need the support from the other arm. Now the key is now it's into my body. I simply bend my other leg and just roll onto my side. Now from here, I would move the kettlebell away, and I'm directing it with my arms, and I'm creating an arcing motion, dragging the kettlebell along the ground, and now I roll onto the other side of my body, and then I would switch which hand is on the handle, grab on, right? Keep the kettlebell close. You don't want the kettlebell to be out here. You certainly do not want to lift to come onto your back, and now I'm not even going to do it, right? That's unsafe. That kettlebell is way too far away from my shoulder joint. So if the kettlebell gets away from you as you bring it in that arc position, pull it in close, but try to just keep a tight arc around your head. Now I'm in that position where my shoulder is safe. I don't want to roll open and be this way, because that's, again, awkward on the shoulder. I want to keep the kettlebell in close to me. I'm grabbing a nice grip on the bell. This hand is supporting me. I roll onto my back, and now the bell is already in a good position, kind of on my arm, sternum, and forearm, right? And then I can open up and then single arm press it if I'm comfortable, or from there, I could certainly double arm press it and then open that arm and do my get up. And then I'll show you the coming down. I pull down like I'm doing a single arm press, grab on with the hand, and then side lie. Now, if you're not comfortable doing that traveling around the head, or if it's a very heavy bell, of course, you just, once the kettlebell is supported by the ground, you let go, you just turn your body over to the other side, and then to whatever angle you feel comfortable in, and then you can grab the bell. So either transition is fine, but that is how you do the Turkish get-up from supine ground lying position to standing and back down, because all the other videos are just showing you how to do the kettlebell in the naked format, which is not using a kettlebell, because I was teaching the format and not going to be holding the kettlebell over my head while I'm trying to talk and cue and all that stuff, right? So safety first for me as an instructor as well. So the first 4 videos, as I mentioned, they really break down all the technical aspects of the get-up in an unloaded environment, but I wanted you to see what the Turkish get-up looks like in its actual motion, without stopping from beginning to end. But since I was using the kettlebell, I wanted to also just address how you get from the sideline position onto the back, and your various options of how you press up double arm or single arm on your comfort level, and how challenging the weight is, how to get into that actual starting position. You don't just start, you don't pick up the kettlebell when you're lying on your back and start the get up. You always start the get up in a side lying position. So that's why each of the videos is addressing various different components. So while I didn't mention that in some videos, I knew that through the whole series, I was going to address all the technical aspects of the Turkish get-up. So start in sideline, you going to grab onto the handle, pull it into you, double or single arm press it, and make sure you control the kettlebell back down. Since this is the first video where I'm actually talking about how to load your get-up with a bell. So how you transition from sideline to on the back matters. How you press the kettlebell up into the starting position matters. And of course, bringing it back down. And I also addressed the 2 options for how you can go from one side if you want to alternate every rep. So that's just to address that issue in terms of how to program the Turkish get-up. You have 2 options that you can do. You can do 3. It's not something you do in high volume. You're not going to do 10 get-ups a side. So 5 is usually recommended general max number of reps for a Turkish get-up. So you can opt to do 3 to 5 get-ups on one side, back to back, and then do 1 transition of the bell to the other side, and then do the same number of reps on the other side. Or another variation is you do a Turkish get-up on one side, switch, other side, switch. If you're alternating, that'll give you a chance to practice the transition a few more times, or even just practice the transition by itself, just rolling from side to side. But it all matters. How you rotate from the side to the back and how you press the bell and bring it down are all very important, and that's how it sets you up for a safe setup, which is going to set you up for the cleanest get-up that you could possibly could possibly execute, right? So that will cover all of the aspects of the Turkish Get-up. So again, 5 videos in this series, and they each covered the various components of the Turkish Get-up.